is Betsy O'Kello. I am a faculty member in the Mary Ann Remick Leadership Program here at the University of Notre Dame. And we are continuing with our We Are All Readers and Writers Book Talk series. And this is our final week of our special edition on Hispanic Heritage Month. And during this final week, I wanted to share with you two informational text picture books. The first one is called Just Ask, and it is written by Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, also a product of Catholic schools. So I think that it's always wonderful to share a book of hers with our students. And to be able to make sure they understand who she is and a little bit about her background. What I love about this book is she talks about her own experience as a young child, and she has been living with diabetes. And so she talks about how when she was first diagnosed, there were some students who did not understand what she was doing when she had to inject herself for her diabetes shots. And so that just made her think about the experiences of many children who have conditions that they need to manage, some medical, some emotional, and all different ways that we are unique, and to make sure that we are being inclusive of everyone. And so her point in this book is when you're not sure about something, just ask. And so all the children in this story are building a garden together. And so I'll just read you a few examples here. So this one says, I'm VJ. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. I'm deaf. Most of the time I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. I also love reading and writing. What about you? So I love that in this story, there are students who are managing different conditions, but are not defined by those conditions, and see those as assets rather than deficits. And so we'll read one more example. I'm Bianca, and I have dyslexia, so I have to work really hard and take my time when I'm reading and writing words. Sometimes I use computer programs to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas, and I'm very good at making art from the pictures I see in my mind. Are you really good at something? So I also love that they pose a question on every page, and these are great ways to interact with your students and to be able to have them genuinely answer the questions that are being asked. And I also love the fact that the children are all building a garden, and I think that we could really use that metaphor with our students about how each of us grows uniquely, and all of the beauty that comes out of a garden is also because of its diversity. If we planted a garden of all the same flower, it wouldn't be as beautiful as if we plant a garden with multiple different kinds of flowers that all bloom at different times and in different colors. And then our second book is called Planting Stories, The Life of Librarian and Storyteller Pura Belpré. And this is a true story and a biography. And I think this would, again, be a wonderful opportunity to introduce students to the life of someone that they may not have heard of before. And so we hear in her story, but where are her abuela's stories? Not one folktale from Puerto Rico is on the shelves. How lucky for the library that Pura has story seeds ready to plant and grow. In the children's room, she lights the story hour candle and begins. Her eyes dance, her voice sings. Pura's words paint a picture of a little house with a round balcony where Martina, a beautiful Spanish cockroach, meets Perez, a handsome and gallant mouse. And so this is a story of Pura, who came from Puerto Rico and who enjoyed her grandmother's stories. And then once she worked in a library, she realized that none of those stories were present on any of the shelves. And so she took it upon herself to make sure that those stories were told and written down. And so first she starts by orally telling the stories to the children, as we've seen. And then she learns to sew puppets and to be able to tell the story through her puppet shows, and then starts to type the stories, get them published, and have them put on the shelves. And so I think this is a really powerful story about the importance of telling our stories and making sure that we have opportunities to write them and share them. And so again, would be a great extension to writing activities with your students to ask them, are there stories that have been told in your family that aren't on our classroom library shelves? And could we write those stories together and publish them and put them in our classroom libraries to make sure that that we're telling all of our stories. And then I just wanted to remind you that the book that we started the series with in our very first week, Tia Fortuna's New Home, has won the Pura Belpré Award, so the award named after the woman whose story we just heard. So that would be a great connection for your students too. And you might want to just be able to pull all of those award winners to share with your students. So we really hope that you've enjoyed this series. We've really enjoyed bringing you these books. And just as a reminder, Hispanic Heritage Month is a beautiful opportunity to make sure all the books that you're sharing with students are presenting the diversity of the Latinx experience, but that we hope that you're reading these books all throughout the year and not just during this month, and that you use these opportunities to really engage children in these beautiful stories. So we thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks.